In concrete terms, the conclus one boils down to this: a human being has three dimensions: body, mind and soul. Body and mind, including senses, have only relative and impermanent existence, and no lasting reality. This machine of human organism, including intellect and mind, acts and feels due to the soul presence, which, however, itself is pure consciousness, unmanifest, invisible and inactive. Soul itself being all love, all bliss and all purity, an eternal part of God, and every living being 15.7 is above action and therefore neutral, yet it is its presence which activates the whole system. The golden virtue of Gita is that it welcomes all religions, but declares that unless a man ascends to spirit, his true self, he will miss the kingdom of heaven, Braham Gyan. Without soul, man is dead. Soul is the real man/woman. Our appalling ignorance is such that we do not know our true self. This is God's Yoga Maya, the riddle, which he wants us to solve. Gita provides the ways. Study of Gita clearly reveals that there are levels of consciousness. One is the mind level of consciousness, and the other is the spiritual level. In this world, most of us live and work on the body-mind level of consciousness. The phenomenon world of senses can be known and understood with reason and mind. On the other hand, the unmanifest world, the world behind the senses, cannot be known and properly followed by the mind and senses. It is the soul knowledge or the spiritual realization which reveals this hidden, inner world to us. According to Gita, this inner life is more vast and beautiful. However, God knowledge and God contact lies still beyond. It is the spiritual knowledge which can lead us to God here in this life itself. This truth is verified and realized by several living spiritual masters of various religions. Gita declares that the supreme purpose of human faith is to know God and everything else is secondary, because this provides salvation to man, which means permanent bliss and immortality. Gita is not a book of philosophy, being the speech of God. It is the truth. It is meant to be practiced and adopted to everyday life. Its practice showers immediate and lasting spiritual benefits. It preaches both Sagan, manifest, and Nirgun, unmanifest, devotions. Gita contains 18 chapters and 700 verses. Each of the chapter heading ends with the word yoga, that is Vishad Yoga, Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, etc. Therefore, some people say that Gita is a treatise on yoga. But it does not mean anything different, because yoga itself means joining the soul with God, which is the basic purpose of Hindu religion. But joining the soul with God is often said with such ease as if it were a child's play. How many people know the soul? And how many people know God? Hardly any, little realizing that without knowing them, how can the two be united? It is the knowledge of soul, and the knowledge of God, which Gita preaches. The beauty of the process involved in knowing the soul and God lies in the fact that it enriches this earthly life of the seeker and ensures bliss and salvation for future. Broadly, there are three paths, which Lord Krishna recommends in Gita for spiritual realization: Gyan Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Gita also talks of other spiritual disciplines, and has respect for all religions. Its target is God realization. Therefore, any spiritual means that takes the seeker to this goal is welcome. The subject matter of Raja Yoga is the control and cultivation of mind, for balanced life and spiritual gains. Therefore, this forms an integral part of Gita. There are 6 Hindu Shastras devoted to salvage man from pain and suffering: Sankhya Shastra, Vaisheshika, Nyaya, Yoga, Purvi Mimamsa, and Adanta, or Uttari Mimamsa. The main authors of these 6 schools of philosophies are Kapil, Kanada, Gautam, Patanjali, Jaimini and Vyasa, respectively. Brahma Sutra is the masterpiece creation of Veda Vyasa on spiritualism. Adi Shankaracharya's commentary on Brahma Sutra is a matching masterpiece, and is covered in Vedanta. Upanishads, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, Puranas are also important bases of the Hindu religion. Relationship of these scriptures with Gita will be briefly touched on in the following pages. Sanatana Dharma being the basic Hindu religion, and the oldest religion in the religious annals of humanity, deserves a brief discussion in its relationship with Gita. No doubt, Gita's main sphere is spiritualism, but the cause of social harmony does not miss the center stage in this holy dialogue either. No wonder for social peace and higher spiritual realization Gita recommends cultivation of equanimity of mind and elimination of ego. The virus of dogmatic nationalism and patriotism, which plague the mankind today, are alien to Gita because its theme is universal love, which flows from God. Knowledge and the Supreme God have no clones. Is it a small wonder that this immortal holy dialogue emerged on a battlefield despite the heat and intensity of the fury of war? This spiritual dialogue contains the highest wisdom, the highest knowledge, and the supreme secret for peace, prosperity, and deliverance of mankind.